So, the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, he had this idea that he called the heaviest thought. He believed it was a concept so powerful, it could totally change your life. And you know what? It's probably not the one you're thinking of. So, what is it, right? What's this one single concept that Nietzsche thought was so incredibly life-altering? You might guess it's the death of God, or maybe the idea of the Übermensch, the Superman, or the will to power. Nope. All of those are huge ideas for sure, but Nietzsche actually thought they were all secondary to his real heaviest thought. He called it eternal recurrence. Just think about that for a second. The idea that you will live this exact life over and over again for all eternity. Every single joy, every pain, every boring ordinary moment, all of it, on an infinite loop. Okay, and this is where almost everyone gets it wrong, so listen up. This is not some cosmological theory about how time works. It's not about physics. Nietzsche was designing the ultimate psychological test for your life. So, to really get this test, we have to look at how he set it up. He framed it as this really powerful thought experiment, and he called it the demon's question. So, try to picture this. You're in your loneliest moment, and this demon just appears. And it tells you that every single detail of your life, the big stuff and the small, is going to come back to you in the exact same order, forever and ever. That eternal hourglass of existence just gets flipped over and over, and you're right there in it. So, faced with that, what's your first gut reaction? Is it just horror? Do you curse this demon for trapping you in a loop you can't stand? Or, and this is the wild part, is it something totally different? Is there a part of you that hears this and thinks this is a divine gift? That you could look that demon in the eye and say, you're God, and that's the best thing I've ever heard. See, there are really only two honest responses here. The first is horror, and that's not a failure. It's actually vital information. It tells you that your life isn't quite one you can fully get behind. Yet. The second response is what Nietzsche called amor fati, the love of fate, where you wouldn't just put up with the repetition, you would actively, joyfully choose it. And that second response, that's the whole point. This love of fate, this amor fati, that's the highest state Nietzsche believed a person could ever reach. So what does that even mean, love of fate? Well, it's not about just passively accepting things. No way. It's an active, powerful love for your destiny. It's the ability to look back at everything, the wins, the losses, the pain, and see all of it as absolutely necessary to forge the person you are right at this very moment. I mean, Nietzsche himself said it best. His formula for greatness is wanting nothing to be different. It's not about just tolerating your past or enduring it. It's about loving it because it's what made you, you. Okay, so how in the world do you actually do that? Well, it's a practice. First, you have to acknowledge everything, the good and the bad. Don't hide from the ugly parts. Then you start to reframe it. You see how even the so-called wrong turns were actually necessary steps on the only path that could have led to you. And finally, you affirm the whole shebang. You choose not to trade a single moment of it. All right, enough with the philosophy lesson. Let's make this real. Let's turn this from a thought experiment into a practical tool you can use, like, right now. So I want you to ask yourself, honestly, if you had to repeat the life you are living right now, not the life you hope to live one day, but the one you are actually in, would you choose it? And remember, we're not just talking about the highlight reel here, the vacations, the promotions. The real test is your ordinary Tuesday afternoon, your daily commute, the boring stuff. Could you say yes to the eternal repetition of the mundane parts of your life? That's the real test. Okay, deep breath. What if your honest, gut-wrenching answer is no, or maybe even hell no? That's okay. In fact, Nietzsche would say that is the single most valuable piece of information you could ever get about your own life. Because here's the thing. A no is not a verdict. It is not some final judgment condemning you as a failure. It's not the end of the story. A no is a direction. It's a compass. That thing in your life that made you say no, that job, that relationship, that habit, is now pointing you exactly where you need to make a change. It's showing you how to build a life you could say yes to. So let's wrap this all up. What do you need to remember? First, eternal recurrence is a personal mirror, not a theory about the universe. Second, it's testing the authenticity of your life, especially those small everyday moments. And most importantly, a no isn't a failure. It's a compass pointing toward change. The ultimate goal here is amor fati, to truly, deeply love your unique path. So I'll just leave you with this. If that demon showed up in your loneliest moment tonight and asked you the question, what would your honest answer be? And more importantly, what are you going to do with that information tomorrow?